Yes, you know the
Good afternoon. The board I would like to call the Elk Grove Unified School District Board meeting to order at 4:07 p.m. The board will meet in closed sessions to address items 1 through 3 on the agenda. Thank you.
be because of a scholarship I applied to, and it was like very hard, and it took a lot of time, but I mean, it was worth it in the end.
Okay, ready? Good evening and welcome to the Elk Grove Unified School District's board meeting. I would now like to call this board meeting to order on April 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. The Board of Education has resumed full in-person board meetings unless remote attendance is permitted pursuant to the California Brown Act. Instead of using the Zoom platform, we will be using the Cosumnes Community Service District's streaming service. You can access the live stream link from the district's website or directly through CCSD's website. Today's meeting is being video recorded and will be available on the district's YouTube channel. The public comment process will shift to in-person while utilizing the temporary live stream platform. We encourage you to attend the meetings and share your feedback with the board. Your active participation is valued and contributes to the decision-making process. During regular board meetings, the public may make public comments on items on the agenda or items not on the agenda. Requests to make public comment will be accepted for an item up until the board president introduces the item. Generally, members of the public will be given 3 minutes to address the board. If there are 15 or more comments on a specific item, the board will reduce individual comment time to 2 minutes each. If there are 30 or more comments on a specific item, the board will reduce individual comments to 1 minute each. Individuals may not defer their time to another individual speaker to increase their total speaking time. Please be mindful that district students may be watching. You are encouraged to address the board and the public in a respectful manner, such that all those observing, from children to adults, are made to feel welcome, safe, and valued. The board shall not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of board meetings. Persistent disruption by an individual or group shall be grounds for the board president to provide a warning and then to terminate the individual's privilege of addressing the board. I will now read our district land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the Elk Grove Unified School District administrative facilities and schools occupy the unceded territory of the Miwok, the original people of the skies, land, and waters where we work and learn. The Miwok have cared for these lands since time immemorial. They continue to teach their traditional knowledge that comes from and responds to the needs of the land and people who share it. May our daily lives and work, teaching, learning, leadership, and community engagement support the evolving vision of the Miwok for their community and these lands. May we strive to acknowledge the past for the betterment of our future generations. May we look to our tribal partners, the Wilton Rancheria, the descendants of the original people of this land, to assist with the successful education of our community. And now I would like to call on Principal Denisha Calhoun Principal Cordova with Denisha Calhoun. And there we go. And before we get started, Mr. Fortuna is going to read some kind words about you.
Good evening again. I'm going to read the recognition tonight on behalf of Xiong Yang, who has not been able to be with us tonight. And I'm very, very fortunate. As I read the recognition, please listen to it, because Ms. Calhoun represents the best. She's a special lady and really is deserving of recognition. Herman Leinbach Elementary School is honored to recognize Denisha Calhoun, also known as Granny, as our education partner. Ms. Calhoun has been a member of our Leinbach community since 2022, when her granddaughter Anastasia began kindergarten. This year, Anastasia is in first grade and her younger brother, Dakari, is in kindergarten. Our teachers have observed and appreciate how Ms. Calhoun communicates with the children. She always gets down to their level and makes eye contact with them. They are happy to see their grandma. There is so much love there. Ms. Calhoun's a type of grandparent whose involvement significantly impacts the lives of her grandchildren. She communicates and builds a relationship with each child's teacher. She attends all parent-teacher conferences and IEP meetings and is well informed about the events going on at school. Ms. Calhoun is always willing to meet with staff and discuss what's going on. She follows up with teachers, directions at home, and we value the two-way communication we share. It is through these acts that Ms. Calhoun relays the importance of education and a home-to-school connection to her grandchildren. Ms. Calhoun and her family actively participate in school-wide events like Avid Game Night and Spirit Days. She is a valuable asset to our community, and Herman Lieback Elementary is incredibly grateful and fortunate to have such a dedicated parent and family in our Lion Pride. Thank you, Ms. Calhoun.
We are actually looking for the flag right now. It was behind us last time we were here. So thank you, Ms. Chaitis Espinosa. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Mate. Okay.
Hello. Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please stay right there for just a moment. Carmine, you can stay up there if you'd like. Yes. Perfect. Mr. Edmiston, I'd like to call you up for our athletic recognition of our winter CIF champions.
Good evening. President Jamerson, members of the school board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos. Tonight I am honored to introduce you to two very special athletes and one very special team. Zach Hoover, 106 pounds, and Declan Follett, 285 pounds from Laguna Creek High School. Each one of them won the Sac Joaquin Section Masters Championship at their weight class at Stockton Arena this past year. There are over 200 schools that compete in the Sac Joaquin section, and these outstanding wrestlers were champions. It is a grueling 2 days of wrestling with 32 wrestlers in each weight bracket, and all three claimed the top of the podium. Zach defeated Nathan Grandinos 4-2 from Merced in the finals, and he also placed eighth in the state tournament. And Declan Follett won all 5 of his matches via a pin at the Masters tournament, as he actually dominated his weight class.
Parents or family members, you can come on up if you'd like to take pictures. You can come closer.
Okay, next, the Valley High School boys soccer team. During the winter 2023-2024 season, the Valley High School boys varsity soccer team showcased an unparalleled display of talent and dedication, achieving remarkable milestones, with an outstanding 24 wins, setting a new school record at Valley High School. Their triumphs extended beyond local competitions as they emerged victorious in the East Union High School Irving Mendoza Memorial Classic. Continuously proving their mettle, they clinched their 4th consecutive Greater Sacramento League championship this year, which is a testament to their consistency and relentless pursuit of excellence. Their exceptional performance earned them the coveted #1 seed in the Division III Sac Joaquin Section Boys playoff bracket, positioning them as formidable contenders for the title. Unfazed by the pressure, they soared to victory, capturing their first ever Division III section championship, a historic moment for the team and the school. Their achievements did not go unnoticed, as they were rightfully recognized as the CIF California Army National Guard Boys Team of the Month for March of 2024, a prestigious accolade highlighting their exceptional teamwork, skill, and sportsmanship. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce Luis Leon, the head boys soccer coach of Valley High School, who will introduce his athletes.
Tristan Arevalo. Olegario Pérez. Brian Pérez. Giovanni Madriz. Edwin Camacho. Edgar Vega. Rodrigo Rodríguez Jr. Mehdi Kadiri. Ángel Ayala. Jeremy Castanon. Octavio Mendoza. Alexander Fonseca. Giovanni Guillén. Juan Campos. José Noé Aguirre. Julian Aviña. Alonso Pérez. Osvaldo Félix. Kenneth Lohr. Yaciel Bizarrón. Christopher Ortega. Nathan Caudillo. Iván López.
Two rows. Shorter. Front. Short. Short.
Make sure your face sees the camera.
Hey, you got the whole school there. I'm gonna bomb this picture. Hey.
There you go. Front row, go down. Down low,
I'm gonna photobomb this picture.
Gentlemen in the front, maybe just. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Stand up.
There you go. You know you're starting 11. We're all trying to hype.
Family, come on up. Come get closer to get your pictures.
No.
Stay.
So besides this group being an incredible soccer team and accomplishing a lot, there's one senior in particular that we're going to highlight tonight who, he doesn't know this, but Tristan is one of the seniors we're featuring in our senior spotlight. So we're going to show you a quick video and you will understand why we are so incredibly proud of him. So turn around.
My name is Tristan Revelo, and I am a senior at Valley High School. So I'm going to college to Brown University in Rhode Island, Providence, and it came to be because of a scholarship I applied to, and it was like very hard, and it took a lot of time, but I mean, it was worth it in the end. So that day I had told him I came back from the tournament, and I had found out the tournament, and I had my sister recording everything, and I broke it down to them, and they started crying. And at first I didn't cry, but until I saw my dad cry was when I started tearing up. My whole life my dad has pushed me to get good grades, almost perfection. And then I've always liked soccer, so I did soccer as an extracurricular. I tried to do stuff like community service. I also got a job my junior year. I was involved in soccer a lot. It was a lot of commitment. I would have practice 3 days a week, and then the 2 days of the week where I didn't practice, I would work. And I would work on weekends, and then I would have to balance it with school. So I would stay up until 1 or 2 in the morning. And I had straight A's, but I mean, I made it work somehow. Weighted was 4.3 and unweighted was 3.97. My hardest class is this year. It's AP Calc. Some of the funner classes I've had are ceramics, and then I've had AP English and then A-Push. And those have been AP classes as well that are hard, but I've managed to do them, and it was pretty easy for me. And I also loved working with my classmates and stuff. A lot of my friends are in there, so. They came to this country, so I could get an education, and knowing that they didn't have to pay a dime out of their own pockets, it was like a dream come true. I'm excited to meet new people, to travel to new places. Yeah, my coach, Luis Leon, definitely helped me with the whole thing. Rico over here, Mr. Rico, he was my mathematics 3 teacher. My other math teacher as well, Mr. Reeves or Mr. Hardwick. Yeah, they've helped me a lot, and they just built a connection. I built a connection with them, and that was really special. I feel I underestimate the magnitude of the whole thing, because sometimes I even forget that I'm actually going and that this actually happened until someone reminds me. So right now I'm just trying to just really spend my time here and have fun and not take it for granted.
Please give Tristan another hand.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, board.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Okay, I'd like to call on Ms. Coates for recognition of the 2024 Let's Eat Healthy Award to Food and Nutrition Services.
All right. Well, good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, staff, and community. Excited tonight to bring up Ms. Sonia Fernandez. She is with the Dairy Council of California, who is here tonight to recognize our Food and Nutrition Services team, who have been honored with the 2024 Let's Eat Healthy Award. So from here, I will turn it over to Ms. Fernandez.
Hello and good evening. Hello, Madam President, members of the board, and Superintendent Hoffman. As Dr. Coates shared earlier, my name is Sonia Fernandez Arana. I'm with Dairy Council California, and I'm a program manager, and I'm here to present Elk Grove Unified School District Food and Nutrition Services with the 2024 Let's Eat Healthy Leadership Award. But before I do so, I'd like to take a moment to share a few remarks. For 105 years, Dairy Council California has worked alongside champions like school nutrition professionals, educators, community, public health, as well as academia, to really support nutrition in schools and communities. And we are funded by our California dairy community, so that's our farmers as well as our local milk processors, to really educate on the importance of dairy and health. And we are a quasi-state agency under the authority of California Department of Food and Agriculture. And under Dairy Council California, it's its Let's Eat Healthy initiative, known as Let's Eat, as Let's Eat Healthy. And we really engage with champions such as, Michelle Drake and her team, school nutrition professionals, to really support the equitable access of nutritious foods, as well as evidence-based nutrition education to support the health of students. And our organization has collaborated with Elk Grove Unified Food and Nutrition Services for 30 plus years to support the district's nutrition goals. Over this tenure, Elk Grove Unified School District has placed a premium on the health of students and wellness, their health and wellness. The commitment is exemplified through its comprehensive nutrition approach, spearheaded by the Food and Nutrition Service Director, Mrs. Michelle Drake. She really ensures that her team is equipped and activated to provide high-quality nutritious services, not only ensuring the nutritious and delicious meals of every student receive that, but they're reinforcing that farm-to-fork link by establishing collaborations with local farmers, growers, and procurement partners to source locally grown foods. Furthermore, the department's effort to create nutrition programming that turns education into hands-on, fun, and unforgettable experiences for students, families, plus their classroom educators and their department staff is second to none. And through this partnership and other partnerships, such as ourselves, Dairy Council of California, we've provided professional development to their department staff, but also classroom educators on relevant topics of nutrition, and really provided science-based nutrition curriculum that's also aligned to nutrition science standards to support those educators participating in the district's SHAPE program, as you know, which is led by Nutrition Services. And this is done at no cost on a yearly basis. Michelle and her team have also supported placing California's first farm-to-school program, which is the Mobile Dairy Classroom, which is led by our organization, Dairy Council. And they do so by positioning that assembly at elementary schools on a yearly basis to bring that farm-to-school experience to teach students about the role of agriculture in California's food system, and also touch on the journey of where their food comes from. Where do we get our milk from the cow to the table or to school? And also talk about the important role that different foods have on establishing healthy eating patterns and the support that has on our health. And through these efforts together, we've educated thousands of district staff and hundreds of thousands of students across a partnership of 30 plus years. And lastly, through the innovative strategies to advance policy implementation of local school wellness, Michelle and her team have engaged in many initiatives and invited numerous partnerships, not just with ourselves, but with others to really enrich the school environment to support the health of students. And on behalf of Dairy Council California, I would like to formally recognize the commitment and actions of Food and Nutrition Services for the work that they're leading. And the difference that they're making in the health and the well-being of students by instilling the importance of nutrition, not just one meal, but one program and a partnership at a time. I do have a video that really elevates Michelle's voice, and I just like to take the time to play that for you all. Thank you so much.
So I'm Michelle Drake. I'm the Director of Food and Nutrition Services, and I handle the organization behind the logistics of feeding children. So I have a great team. We are the front line in front of students at school sites. We have a central kitchen, so I have a team that prepares fresh, scratch-cooked meals that we send out to schools. I have a nutrition education team who works with students to teach them the benefits of eating healthy. In school food service, it's very important to have partnerships and collaborate. And the Dairy Council has always been a very strong partner with us. So participating in the Let's Eat Healthy initiative is just another way for us to continue to work together to build a stronger generation. I'm a dairyman's daughter, so I grew up in the dairy industry and being surrounded by dairy products. And I know the importance of healthy, strong bones and body, and dairy is a key component in that, in getting calcium and vitamins and minerals into the daily food intake of our students.
I'd like to welcome Michelle Drake, as well as members of her team, to accept the 2024 Let's Eat Healthy Leadership Award. Thank you.
I'm just going to briefly say that in the 30 years that we have been as a district leading nutrition education, the Dairy Council is always right beside us with a number of partners to make sure that we have the ability to put that in front of our students every day. So thank you for your partnership, and thank you, the board, for your support in nutrition education through the years and how important it is to our children. So thank you very much. Thank you. Bunny ears, I know why.
Yeah. Smile.
And team.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, and now, Miss Drake, I'm going to call you on up for School Lunch Hero Day.
I didn't know it was that quick. So, President Jamerson, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and the team, I'm here this evening to ask the board recognize May 3rd as School Lunch Hero Day. The School Lunch Hero Day is celebrated annually by the School Nutrition Association and Jarrett Karaska, author of the Lunch Lady graphic novel series. Between preparing healthy meals, adhering to strict nutrition standards, navigating specialized student needs, and offering service with a smile, Elk Grove Unified School District's nutrition professionals have a lot on their plate. The Elk Grove Unified Food Nutrition Service professionals are on the front lines of providing meal service to the children in our community. Our food service professionals continue to work extremely hard, operate with flexibility, and demonstrate a willingness to gracefully adapt to change. Their dedication to the children in Elk Grove Unified is amazing and worthy of sincere recognition. Elk Grove Food Nutrition Service leadership will honor our staff and recognize them on May 3rd, but I ask that you forward the resolution to make that, that day as School Lunch Hero Day.
Isabella, do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
Okay, I would then like to call for a motion to approve resolution number 69, designating May 3rd, 2024 as School Lunch Hero Day.
Second, Madam Chair.
It was moved by Mr. Perez and seconded by Ms. Chavez Espinosa. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Singh, recognition of Day of the Teacher.
Good evening, Madam President, Ms. Jameson, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, staff, and community. It's my honor to bring this resolution forward. and it is in recognition of the Day of the Teacher. Thousands of communities will take time out on Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, to honor their local educators and to acknowledge the contributions they make to our lives. While it certainly takes many more people to make a school succeed, National Teacher Day focuses on the teachers who work to make our public schools great places for students to succeed in life. With that, it is my pleasure to ask the Elk Grove Unified School Board to approve Resolution 73, honoring May 8, 2024 as the Day of the Teacher in Elk Grove Unified School District.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Isabella, do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
Thank you. I would then like to call for a motion to approve Resolution number 73, recognizing May 8th, 2024 as Day of the Teacher in the Elk Grove Unified School District.
Yeah, I move approval of Resolution 73 for our great teachers.
It's been moved by Mr. Fortuna and seconded by Ms. Albiani. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution passes. Thank you. Mr. Ross, National Mental Health Awareness Month.
Good evening, President Jamerson, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. So I am here tonight to seek approval for Resolution 67, recognizing May 2024 as National Mental Health Awareness Month. National Mental Health Awareness Month was established in 1949 to increase awareness of the importance of mental health and wellness and to celebrate recovery from mental illness. This resolution raises awareness of trauma and the impact it can have on the physical, emotional, and mental well-being of children, families, and communities. Mental health is essential for a person's overall health and well-being. This year's Mental Health America MHA theme is Where to Start, Mental Health in a Changing World. And the goals of this theme are to learn how modern life affects mental health with new resources to navigate our changing world, act by building your coping toolbox to manage stress, difficult emotions, and challenging situations, and advocate to improve mental health for yourself, your friends and family, and your community. MHA is inviting health organizations and school districts to join in spreading the word that mental health is something everyone should care about. To support the efforts and to increase awareness of mental illness and emphasize the importance of mental health, we will be sharing the MHA Toolkit along with information and resources from the National Alliance of Mental Illness, NAMI, with our sites and community. In addition, we will continue to inform our students, families, and staff of the available resources within EGUSD. So at this time, I respectfully ask that you approve Resolution 67, recognizing May 24th as National Mental Health Awareness Month.
Do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
I would then like to call for a motion to approve Resolution number 67, recognizing May 2024 as National Mental Health Awareness Month.
So moved, Madam Chair.
It's been moved by Ms. Chavez Espinosa, seconded by Mr. Perez. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes. Thank you. Oh, and you get to stay on up there for National School Nurse Day.
Oh, thank you. If you don't mind, we do have some of our fabulous, amazing nurses in the audience, so I'm just going to bring them up here. Don't be shy. And as they're working their way up, just a few words off script, up front. They are amazing. I do up front. They don't need to see me. Yeah, right there, so they can see you. They are amazing. As I do present a lot of resolutions, as you are aware of, and this is one of the ones that I really truly enjoy because I've learned so much about the work that they do over the years. So I'm very, very proud of all of them. So I am here for Resolution 65, recognizing May 2024 as National School Nurse Day. Since 1972, National School Nurse Day has been set aside to recognize school nurses. This year, it's May 8th, 2024. This day was established to foster a better understanding of the role of school nurses in the educational setting and to recognize the role they play in the student's education. A student's health is linked to their ability to learn, and a school nurse stands at the intersection of health and education, weaving that support needed to reduce barriers to learning and to promote healthy children, families, and communities. School nurses support students with a wide range of medical needs, from minor health issues to providing daily care for students who are medically fragile or who have chronic conditions. During any given day, school nurses are providing first aid care, health assessments, writing health care plans, coordinating care for students with chronic or acute health conditions, communicating with teachers and staff to ensure their safety and well-being of students, administering medications and monitoring delicate medication administration, assisting with the evaluation of students for special education, coordinating and providing vision and hearing screenings, and educating and training on asthma, life-threatening allergies, diabetes, and blood-borne pathogens. School nurses are the leaders of healthcare, providing care coordination, advocating for quality student-centered care, and collaborating to design systems to allow students to develop to their full potential. So at this time, I ask that you approve Resolution 65, recognizing May 8th, 2024 as National School Nurse Day.
Do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
I would then like to call for a motion to approve Resolution number 65, recognizing May 8th, 2024 as National School Nurse Day.
So moved, Madam Chair.
May I second?
Moved by Ms. Chavez Espinosa, seconded by Mr. Fortuna. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. We appreciate you. And so now, National Foster Care Month.
So I'm here to seek approval for Resolution 66, recognizing May 2024 as National Foster Care Month. This year's theme is engaging youth, building supports, and strengthening opportunities. Families, public and private agencies, community organizations, and individuals provide valuable support and encouragement to youth in foster care across the nation, the state, and our district. During the month of May, Elk Grove Unified School District would like to honor the contributions of our kinship families, educators, community partners, and service providers who contribute to the stability, educational achievement, and emotional and physical well-being of youth in foster care. The district would also like to raise awareness of the challenges that many students in foster care face and how the collective efforts of caring adults can make an impact on their lives. So I respectfully ask that the board approve Resolution 66, recognizing May 2024 as National Foster Care Month.
Do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
I would then like to call for a motion to approve Resolution number 66, recognizing May 2024 as National Foster Care Month.
I move approval, Resolution 66.
Moved by Mr. Fortuna, seconded by Mr. Perez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Miss Avey for Asian Pacific American Heritage Month.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. The Board of Education is requested to adopt Resolution number 70, designating May 2024 as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Asian Pacific American Heritage Week began in 1978 when President Jimmy Carter signed a joint resolution designating this as an annual celebration. In May of 1990, the recognition was expanded further when George H.W. Bush designated May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. May was chosen to commemorate the immigration of the first Japanese to the United States on May 7th, 1843, and to mark the anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10th, 1869. The majority of the workers who laid the tracks were Chinese immigrants. Throughout the year, the contributions of Americans with Pacific Rim heritage are presented in our regular adopted curriculum. However, this special focus for 1 month serves as a reminder of the combined contributions of this group. In support of this resolution, this year, the Curriculum and Professional Learning Department will facilitate a district-wide virtual workshop, which is open to all employees, on AAPI cultural legacies through art and music, which will be held on May 7th at 5:30 virtually.
Do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
I would then like to call for a motion to approve resolution number 70, designating May 2024 as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month.
I'll second, Madam Chair.
It's been moved by Ms. Albiani and seconded by Ms. Chavez Espinosa. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution is passed. Thank you. And now for Physical Fitness and Sports Month resolution.
So I get to close out our resolution palooza for this evening. The Board of Education is asked to adopt resolution number 71, designating May 2024 as Physical Fitness and Sports Month. This resolution recognizes the central role of physical education and sports in creating a healthy lifestyle for all children in the Elk Grove Unified School District. The President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition recognizes May as Physical Fitness and Sports Month, and its mission is to invoke a call to action to recognize the value and importance of having physical activity and physical education in the lives of kids and adults. Campaigns like this one help to reactivate our interest in physical activity and sports. Physical fitness and sports are not only good for our physical health, but they also improve the quality of our lives overall, which also supports our Mental Health Awareness Month. Experts agree that even though small amounts of physical activity can make a significant difference in a person's physical and mental health. For example, it can reduce the risk of chronic diseases, high blood pressure, and anxiety, while improving sleep, among other health benefits. Parents and guardians can help by modeling the very behaviors we want to see in young children. If parents and guardians exercise and set an example, their kids will likely embrace similar habits. If families emphasize physical playtime on the weekends, kids will be more likely to get involved in sports and activities. In support of this resolution, the Curriculum and Professional Learning will partner with local cities and city parks and recreation programs, along with physical education teachers, to develop a list of recommendations for how families can be physically active in the summer months, and we will share that information with our families.
Do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
I would then like to call for a motion to approve resolution number 71, designating May 2024 as Physical Fitness and Sports Month.
So moved, Madam Chair.
It's been moved by Ms. Chavez Espinosa, seconded by Ms. Albiani. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution is passed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to public comment. Do we have any blue cards for items not on the agenda?
There are 2 blue cards for items not on the agenda. First up is Kirk, followed by Richard Diltz.
Hi. So at the last meeting, Dad spoke here and said something that really hit me. He said that I should own my hate. So I'm going to go Festivus in April and own my hate today. So here are some things I hate. I hate that there are school officials who think adding plot to the porn somehow makes the porn not porn. You sound like that creepy weirdo who says he only reads Playboy for the articles. We all know you're lying, and we all know you know you're lying. I hate schools telling us that schools won't accept each other's differences unless they focus intensely on their differences of race, gender, and sexuality, rather than what they have in common. Anyone who's ever competed in a team sport knows that you put your differences aside to achieve a common goal. Differences are not dwelled on, and when differences are dwelled on, that is what creates conflict. Going back to the secret clubs that have been a big deal the last couple times. If a teacher started a secret club in an elementary school for everyone who maybe didn't fit in anywhere, but made it clear it was about knowing Jesus and named it Hope and Love instead of Christian Club, with the defense of they're just playing board games, or this is just meant to be an inclusive environment, stand up to all the non-Christian parents who would rightfully view this as an attempt to proselytize their kids. I doubt it. I hate this double standard exists, and I hate that you'll deny it exists. I hate that this school district takes the bottom 1% of 1% of parents who would in any way harm their kids for being gay and tries to lump parents like me into that group, and then has the nerve to not understand why I view my relationship with this board as adversarial. The thing I hate the most, I hate having to pick this fight. Ever since my wife told me she was pregnant with our first child, I've thought intensely about how I would approach uncomfortable topics like sex and sexuality with my kids. My wife and I spent hours discussing and sometimes arguing over details like which parent has to have the talk with which kid based on that kid's gender. How do we address modern cultural dangers like social media? We've talked about how best to discuss topics like safe sex while also trying not to tell them sex is wrong and sex is actually quite great, but also balancing that with promoting our basic moral and religious belief in waiting until marriage as the best thing to do. Do you have any idea how many hours of discussion I've had with my wife about this? I find it evil for anyone but me and my wife to think they have the right to discuss the moral, spiritual, and cultural aspects of these topics with my kids, especially in secret. And I hate evil. Now, I don't think any of you are evil. I'm sure you all have good intentions. But we all know what the road to hell is paved with. Thank you.
Next up, we have Richard Diltz.
Esteemed board members, Mr. Superintendent, and district staff. First, I want to commend the EGUSD's efforts to expand the visual and performing arts over the last few years in our schools. However, we are still falling short of our potential and lagging behind where I think we should be. Currently, booster groups, teachers, parents, and even students themselves are filling in gaps that I think the district should be addressing in our VAPA programs. We know that investing in the arts supports your stated goals, such as social-emotional learning, equity in academics, mental health, and general academic performance. Research backs all these claims, and I'm happy to provide any resources if anybody wants any clarification on that, but I'm pretty sure you're all pretty familiar already. You'll soon be asked to allocate approximately $36 million through the Arts, Music, and Instructional Materials Block Grant to the schools. And it's my understanding that the law allows, and some may argue that using these funds for operational costs or healthcare is allowed within the law, but the grant's title emphasizes arts, music, and instructional materials, library books, and so forth. Allocating this money to fulfill its intended purpose could mean over $500,000 for every school in the district. This could address pressing needs like stage and sound system repairs, new curtains for theaters, instruments and repairs for band rooms, cameras for photography courses, and essential supplies for art, music, and drama classes, and much more besides that. As the arts are mandatory for graduation and legally mandated, relying on parent groups or teachers to fundraise for basic needs like uniforms, instrument repairs, art supplies, or sheet music just doesn't seem sustainable or fair. I speak for myself and a whole group of parents and community members when I urge you to please prioritize the VAPA programs when you're thinking about how you're going to distribute these funds. I also feel like I need to add, because my kids actually are trans and went through the EGSUD school district. And the protections they got in the school were very important. And there were young kids that they know who were in dire need of help. And they had to go to teachers because they couldn't always go to their parents. And I think it's very important that you continue to protect those students and the teachers and the staff members who stand up for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes our public comment for items not on the agenda. Moving on to the consent agenda. Do we have any blue cards for this item?
There are no blue cards for this item.
All right, I would then like to, pardon me? Oh, sorry, sir. Okay, I am ready to look your way. I would like to call for a motion to approve items 1 through 22 on the consent agenda. Don't tell me why, just 21. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me make the motion, and then we can get back to you on 21, okay? I would then like to call for a motion to approve items 1 through 20 and number 22 on the consent agenda.
Yeah, I move approval of items 1 to 20 and 22.
Moved by Mr. Fortuna and seconded by Mr. Perez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Perez, number 21.
Okay. I had a conversation with Mr. Hoppin this afternoon, and it so happened that he ran out of time, and he called me back up to discuss some other items. And I forgot to say, in the application for Head Start, for 24-25 Head Start grant application, we need to update the president, the chair, and also the vice chair in the application. Okay, I just want to make that, bring that to your attention. But also, I noticed that we're cutting 50 student slots in that program, and I disagree with that because there is a great need for Head Start students. That's the only thing I had an issue regarding that application.
We can make those adjustments to the.
Okay. Thank you very much. I would then like to call for approval of item number 21 on the consent agenda.
Move approval of 21.
Moved by Mr. Fortuna, seconded by Mr. Perez. All those in favor of approval of item number 21 on the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Bargaining units. Are there any bargaining units who wish to address the board this evening? No? Okay. All right, then I would like to call on Mr. Hoffman for the Board of Education budget priority interests.
Okay, thank you very much. And we're going to get the. All right, so actually, this is a request of the board to have the opportunity to share thoughts with regards to interest for future board priorities, and so looking forward to having that opportunity for the board. But we're going to go through a couple of talking points to make sure the public understands kind of how the process is going to work. So things we're looking at doing tonight, a couple of outcomes. First one is make sure that we just review the agreed upon board priority process that we shared with the board. I believe it was our last meeting. Keep track of how fast these things go. Just a quick reminder with regards to that process. And then tonight we have the opportunity for the board to actually share thoughts. And we kind of categorize it in 3 areas just to kind of organize the thought process. And the first one would be interest related to the board priority list that's already exists. And there's a number of very important items there that I know the board and individual board members find important, and the board as a whole find important. So there may be an opportunity for individual members to highlight things that they are want to make sure that we're fully vetting and evaluating to make sure as we make decisions about prioritization down the road, we can do that work. So look forward to the feedback there. The second column of idea is the idea of topics that are items and service we're already providing in the district, but that the board thinks we may want to do improve services and or expand services. And so I know there's some things there that are of interest to the board. And the third category is a little bit of a catch-all that we have. Oftentimes there are interests of board members when I have individual conversations in our one-on-ones, and sometimes the interests are for items that are traditionally funded outside of the general fund, but still topics that the board members may want to, and interests they may want to share, and we may explore other funding sources to be able to take care of those items, or we may make a change and actually use the general fund. Those would be decisions down the road. But those are kind of the three categories to kind of organize the conversation at the end. Yeah, well, you've seen these before, or at least a version of these before. The 5 agreements that we have with regards to doing our budgets. First piece is we're going to maintain fiscal solvency. We're going to be responsible for our own decisions, not have the state come in and make those decisions for us. One thing that I think we do here better than most districts is we really work hard to maintain and evaluate the work that we're currently doing. And as we are able to expand services, oftentimes what districts end up doing is dismantling things that they've built over the years very quickly as soon as there's any type of an economic downturn. And our board has been very good about prioritizing and making sure that we evaluate and maintain the good work that we're doing. We want to remain competitive for the best and brightest folks that work with us, people that represent and look like and come from the same communities of the students we serve, and that the comparability study that we're wrapping up is an example of that commitment. We're always looking at, and one of the options today is to speak to building upon things that we're already doing. Oftentimes, we are not working at our optimum level with regards to the services that we want to provide. We'd like to provide more of them, but the current fiscal constraints have kept us from doing that. But when the dollars are there, there's the opportunity to have those conversations. And the 5th agreement is always looking about the new ideas and new initiatives. One thing I think we pride ourselves on, we are not an initiative of the year or an initiative of the month school district. We really do focus on core programming and services, and I do believe that's a strength, and it better serves our students and our families. So just a little bit, kind of putting the budget picture in focus for where we are currently. Last year, March of 23, the board did give us the original authorization to use the first block grant in order to make sure that the ESSER services, the people tied to those services would be funded through June of 26. And they gave us the direction for the action and services, the non-people, as we call them, services through June of 25. And we'll actually share that list here in a couple of slides. Current reality, now we did a second interim report very recently, and you notice we had a less than a 1% COLA. Originally we were thinking it was going to be near 4%, so that is a major difference, 22, almost $25 million reduction on the revenue side of the house based on what we thought was there. So that's kind of the reality that we're living in right now. We are waiting for the May revision from the governor and the legislature. Little bit of better news, but little bit. I'll use that, but I do think it's at least heading in the right direction. We don't think it's going to be lower than it was at January, and the governor and the legislature are actually taking some early action on some items to try to even get ahead of this. So we appreciate the work that's being done there. And then again, the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant and the Arts, Music, and Instructional Materials Discretionary Block Grant, those are funds that are available to keep these kinds of services going, as well as to fund some additional ideas that we will be able to share in one of our upcoming meetings, May 7th, I believe. So I won't go step by step through the entire calendar here. But this is basically, if you go to the March and you see 3/19/24, that was the meeting where the board gave us direction with regards to moving forward with the proposed evaluation process. And so we're feeling good about the process. And what you see April through October, November of next year are the steps that we'll be taking as we collect information from our stakeholders, from our parents, from our students, from our staff, put that together and be able to bring back to the board detailed information and evaluation perspectives with regards to how we might prioritize a whole bunch of very important positions and services. So looking forward to that work as we move forward through the summer and into the fall. And this is just a quick recap. These are the agreed upon process by which we were going to come to looking at the need, the impact, and the ranking process. The first two you see there are the principals and the LCAP collaborative, and that was an actual pilot process that we did and actually kind of forced them to look at the board priorities and start to rank them. And what they found out, it was really hard to do. And they needed more information, which is actually really helpful as we're working through this process. We're now putting together information that will help them work through the process, which will also inform the board's work moving forward. The last one you see there is the perspectives survey. The perspective survey has actually started. I've sent it out to students, parents, and staff. We expect 40,000+ responses, and this will be another one of the data points that we'll have for the board when we bring back a ranking later on into next year. And this is a real simple logic model because there's nothing in it, but just a reminder that each of our departments in the areas that they're working at, this is a logic model. You see on the far side is what we call our inputs. These are the resources, the things that we're dedicating. The outputs is the actual things those people do. And then the outcomes are the results of the work. And so we've actually created, they've existed, we're just now providing them to the board and to our community. You'll be getting them in digestible chunks over the next several weeks as you'll be able to see each of the programs and the work that's being done. Again, trying to inform the decision, the difficult decision that we're going to have to make moving into next year. And then here are the current list of the board-approved positions. What you see here is down the left-hand side. Those are the positions. If you look at the center column, you'll see the built upon existing program. We did want to highlight that the things that are here, they're really, you'll see through the entire, there really wasn't anything out of the blue brand new. Almost all of these, and actually all of these items, were built upon existing structures and services we were providing. And so, I'll be happy to talk through any of those with you. On the far right-hand column, you'll see the program that they're attached to. And then FTE, it's one of those things, this is the full-time equivalent. This is equal to one person. So if you go down to the EL coordinator at Florin High School, yes, it's a build-upon work we are already doing with serving our English Learner Service students. There's one person doing that work, and they're tied to the EL department. If you move further down and you see equity SEL coaches, and you see 12.0, that means there's 12 people dedicated to doing that work. And we have a second page full of another list of people that are doing really good work. And again, same process, name of the position on the left, tied to existing programming, the FTE, the number of people that are tied to it, and then the program that they're tied to. At the very bottom, you'll see total number of positions, 293. So it's a lot of people doing a lot of good work. And it's about $35 million in total services. We do have the individual costs for each one, but for this conversation, I didn't want to get folks into a point of saying, well, if we got rid of this and we did this, then we could afford that. That's not the purpose of tonight's conversation, but we did want to make sure people are aware of the dollar amounts. And then beyond the people, we also have the services that are the non-people things that we're doing in support of programs. And so that's what you see here, and that's about $11 million in total in those services. Okay, so we're getting close. It's almost the opportunity for the board to share their ideas and thoughts with that. So as far as framing the overall conversation, And Madam Chair, you're welcome to have each person go through their 3, or if you want to go through 1 and everybody go, so whichever way you want to organize that. But if folks could organize their thoughts around interests related to the currently identified board priority list, things that you want to highlight there. It is important to note for folks in the audience and the community is no decisions have been made about any of those items yet, but you may hear members of the board share particular items that have been of interest to them for a very long time, and they want to highlight, but we still have a full array of work to do with regards to the evaluation model. So again, no decisions have been made at this point. Second piece is opportunity for the board to share interests on areas that we're already doing, but they would like to see expanded and or improved. And then the last column, kind of the catch-all, other areas of interest or maybe ideas that haven't traditionally been funded through the general fund. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Ms. Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Isabella, do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards on this item.
Thank you. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the board members, and we'll just go down the line for if they have anything to add to all 3. That way, we'll just talk about all 3 each.
Are you looking at me?
Sorry, Miss Albiani.
It's a lot of eye contact. I just find this, this will be a very difficult process. I think we've done some amazing stuff, and I know I feel some of them have been very successful, but I think it's a little bit of putting the cart in front of the horse to say much tonight. I'm going to wait to hear back from our surveys and continue to talk with people in my region and out of my region to gather information from trusted sources and new friends, and we'll work through this together as a team. So I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Isabella, do you have any comments or questions?
I don't have any questions or comments. I just kind of want to listen to the conversation and see.
Ms. Chaitis Espinosa?
Madam Chair, I'm very much in the same place Ms. Albiani is in. You know, it's been a privilege to get to meet a lot of the people doing this work, to see the work being done, to see the results in many cases, and this is going to be an incredibly difficult decision going forward, and I will definitely need all of the information that will be available about evaluations and impact to make any more choices about this. So I do not have anything that I would add or that that I would highlight to expand at this point before we get that data. I do have a bias towards the most vulnerable of our students, you know, homeless, jumps out at me, any of those services. But again, so much of what is here is targeted at all of our most vulnerable students, right? Our newcomers, just across the board. So I don't have any specific interest to share at this point.
Mr. Fortuna, I know you have a
list. I'd
Yes.
be happy to talk. I'm going to make some comments with respect to the slides, but I'm going to start with a comment that if Susie were still alive, she probably would have read it and made suggestions for change, but she's not here, and you're going to get what I've written. The district decision to go on a hiring binge and establish new programs with one-time dollars and without a plan to sustain those decisions is not a sufficient reason to divert VAPA funding sources. Proposition $28 are to be used primarily for people. The remaining dollars will not be enough to fund program needs, both current and future, which is why the arts and music block grant funding needs to remain with our VAPA programs until all of its needs are met. As we looked at the three slides, 8, 9, and in particular 10, I think one quickly notices that a minimum of the ESSER dollars went to fund VAPA. It did support 3 program specialists per the recommendation of the executive committee and the subsequent roadmap. Those didn't just get pulled out of the air. Those were based on recommendations and subsequent board decision that culminated from thousands of hours of work. When we look at what needs to be funded, just a comment I've made numerous times is that while it's nice to do new things when you have an ability to do it, our first allegiance should be to what we already have. And that has oftentimes gone unnoticed. When we talk about what positions and programs, materials are going to be continued, we must recognize that the way to continue those is going to be to dip into the VAPA block grant money. Just looking at some of the issues when I address VAPA, we need additional instruments to serve kids in schools where they do not have those instruments and the kids can't afford to pay for them. It's an equity issue. We need to have new instruments, period, because so many of our instruments in the programs are so old they can't even be repaired any longer. Programs don't even have enough money to clean instruments, and the staff has to rely on ASB funds to do that. Sound systems are antiquated. Nobody will argue that point. Programs that offer photography don't have enough cameras for all the students. Programs that require uniforms don't have enough uniforms for all the children. Ceramics classes don't have the necessary protective equipment for all the children. Many of the stages where bands and choir practice and perform aren't big enough to hold all the students. Black box, performing arts centers, major items. We have schools that are 30 years old that to this point have not benefited from the refresh when it comes to VAPA-related issues. With respect to my personal belief with respect to budget priorities, my first budget priority is to ensure all VAPA needs are funded before grant funds are diverted. I know a number of my colleagues are with me when I say we need to just bite the bullet and make a decision to make permanent our social worker positions, our counselor positions, our academic intervention specialist positions, and we need to increase the high school resource position. We need to increase ground positions in order to properly provide landscaping at all of our sites in this district. I would recommend the addition of 1 FTE for the Native Education program coordinator position. My next item, while it interfaces with bargaining, I put it on the table from the perspective that money needs to be available once decisions are made. Oftentimes people say, oh, it's a good idea to do something, oh, we don't have enough money. I am saying, let's plan and put the money away. And that item is a simple one. And that's the review of all ratios for positions that are determined by ratio. Back when this district had a budget crisis, many positions were eliminated. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that we brought back custodial positions. Now, it's often said, and I agree, you don't put a branch back on the tree just for the purpose of putting the branch on the tree, but you sure have a responsibility to look at whether or not you need to do that. And we have consistently refused to look at the ratios for those positions that are determined by ratio. From a site security situation, I believe we should look at two areas. One, sensors in bathrooms to detect vaping, and then point of entry at our schools. In the district office, we have a police presence to protect the people in the building. The schools where our people work and our children attend have nothing. Point of entry is an issue. And then under facilities needs, those go on and on. Having proper bathrooms for special education students and the paraprofessionals that work with them. The replacement of elementary tracks. They're dirt. They don't get to be used all year round, and when they are, they're muddy. Asphalt and concrete, and I know a lot of those items have been identified in the facilities work that's been done and should be spoken to or will be spoken to in the facilities plan when it's finished. And then the addition of necessary ancillary workspace. Goes back to the fact that we added lots of people and lots of new program, and then we just kind of stuffed them into existing space. The items that I have addressed are items that are in support of existing program. Everything that's on the list that we've seen can be argued that they are just adding to existing program, but I personally take exception with that. I don't believe that in all cases. But I do believe that we have a responsibility to ensure that what we have and what we have provided prior to the influx of the ESSER dollars needs examination and support prior to utilizing dollars from any source, in particular the block grant money, before that occurs. On page 3, and I had this discussion with the superintendent, under the budget priorities, the Board of Education has accepted as one of the agreements the maintenance of programs. What it says now is maintenance and evaluation of what we built over the last 2 years. That's a new statement. Oh, the past few years. That's a new statement. And so, you know, I'll go along with the maintenance of existing program prior to the influx of the ESSER dollars. But I'm not at a place that I am willing to maintain anything that has been built over the last 2 years till we have evaluation data on the table that says that we believe in the value of the maintenance. Again, my most important point is that all VAPA needs at each of the sites need to be funded before block grant money is diverted to do things in support of programs that were built over the last few years, even though the majority of the board voted that way. Thank you.
Can I just make one comment? Specific to the single point of entry, I understand that concept. I do want to clarify that at the district office there is a school security specialist who works at the building. We have one that works at the Gerber site as well. It's not an officer. So I want to and at each of our school sites we have at minimum a campus supervisor, and at our middle and high schools we have multiple campus supervisors. We do have school security specialists who actually assign to each of the regions and are mobile and are at school sites and actually spend a great deal of time at our elementary sites. And we have the contract with the county sheriff's department and the city of Elk Grove, so we have resources. So I just want to make sure that we do. Is it exactly how we want it set up with regards to point of entry and that kind of thing? Not arguing that, but just highlighting that we do have a significant system and resources in place with regards to safety and security in the district.
Yeah, I don't want to get into arguing, but with respect to the campus supervisors, they're on the campus. They're not in the district. They're not in the school site office. Campus supervisors don't spend their time in the district office looking at people who come and go. They're out they're out.
Well, there's usually one actually assigned
children
at the front of the campus. That's often where they are.
Pardon me?
There's often one assigned at the very front of the campus, and paying attention as people are coming and going. At the middle and high schools, they have zones. So we can talk about details, but I just want to say we have lots of resources in place, not exactly as explained.
I think that explanation on that issue is a sample of what we are going to look forward to when we get into making decisions on how to use the block grant money.
Mr. Perez, do you have anything to the three items?
Mr. Versini, give him the mic, please. Thanks.
So just to remind you, Mr. Perez, we're looking to see, do you have any interest related to the currently identified board priority list, any interest related to expanding existing services not currently identified, or other interests or interest in other areas? So those three. If you want to look at slide 11, it can guide your comments.
Again, I'd like to inform the public and our staff here that I spoke to Mr. Hoffman regarding this report. All through this report, I had, for instance, no data updates. It was number one. Test results should prioritize funding. Page 3, maintain and evaluate. I agree with you, Mr. Forcina, that what we built over past 2 years, we haven't received no evaluations of these programs. I consistently say, hey, when are we going to get these reports, evaluations? 4, without evaluations, page 4, it says, bullet number 2, minimum anticipated COLA increase to local control funding formula, general purpose revenues, which limits the capacity to add new initiatives without evaluations or redirecting funding of existing programs and services. Again, evaluations. Page 5, I was informed by Mr. Hoffman that the first time we are going to get evaluations is September, October. So that's way too long. We could, and I mentioned that why don't we use last year's data sets of our schools, our whole district and schools LEAs, school sites of our dashboard and determine the need of our students, reading levels, math levels, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is my understanding. The March, the 3/19/24 board confirmed to move forward with a proposed evaluation process. And I understand that that document is how many pages? Quite a few pages. So anyway,
That was the full presentation that we did.
yes. Okay. So anyway, I need myself to read that. I don't have access to that yet, but I requested to have that printed out for me. And pages 8, 9, and 10. These programs I spoke about, they're good programs and different programs in different schools. But another funding or issue I had in these reports, we have the full-time equivalent positions, we have the programs, but we don't have the funding dollars there or which site they're going to be on. You know, there is, some of these, they are, stated where they're going to be at, but yet there's all these other categorical programs, you know, they're really just too generalized to see, you know, where are these individual campus supervisors of 43 full-time equivalents are going to be. So anyway, more detail again, the funding costs of those particular line items we need, and also where they're going to be stationed at. And so the next steps, again, 12, the last page. Continue with agreed upon evaluation process into summer and fall. Well, I was told it's September, October. Summer is June, July, and that's a contradiction to what I assumed that we would not get nothing during that time. So anyway, looking at this report, the first thing I did was to learn on March 21, 2023, the board confirmed direction to use the one-time LREBG funding. So what is that? So where'd I go? Go to the Department of Education. The Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant was established in response to the emergency caused by the COVID-19 pandemic to assist schools serving pupils in the long-term recovery of COVID-19, including addressing learning, mental health, and overall well-being of these students. So that's the objective. Allowable uses of funds. So the page 2, what type of school, what kind of instructional learning time for 22, 23 through all the way to academic year 2027, 28 school year. These are increasing the numbers of instructional days or minutes provided during the school year. Those are type of programs that we need to initiate for these low achieving, learning lost students. Provide summer school and intersession instructional programs. We're doing some of that. Yes. Or taking any other action that increases and stabilizes the amount of instructional time or services provided to students, or decreases or stabilizes staff to pupil ratios. We're doing some of this, well, but it's not clear, and we need to have that more clear in this report. Yes, I do agree with Mr. Forcina that some of these are, are producing results and outcomes, but we need, in this report, the evaluation, which of these positions on page 8, 9, and 10 are doing good or do have good outcomes, student outcomes, which ones don't, and cut the ones that don't produce. One of the biggest things I mentioned that we need in our school districts, accelerating programs or progress to close learning gaps through the implementation and expansion or enhancements of learning support, such as tutoring or one-on-one small groups learning support provided by certificated or classified staff. Learning recovery programs and materials designed to accelerate pupils' academic proficiency of English language and proficiencies of both. So anyway, this report has a lot of things that guidelines and allowable uses. So we need this paper, this report that you made. What is this report saying that we're doing in the State Department of Education that we're doing this? Because these are the allowable uses of funds. And so I want to say again that I support, you mentioned what type of programs I support, and I would like to see creating the literacy acceleration plan for this district, because what I saw on the dashboard reports, the whole district and by individual schools, we need a literacy acceleration plan to meet the varied needs of learners, educators, and communities as students return to in-person learning. The plan we need is to aim and ensure that all educators and leaders have the knowledge and skills to provide research-based literacy instructions to accelerate the literacy development of our students in Elk Grove Unified School District. And if you could get that on paper that we're doing that, I'm going to support whatever positions you have stated that are doing those on page 8, 9, and 10. So, like I said, the plain focus on accelerated learning, making more than 1 year growth in reading by providing additional focus, small groups, and instructions, and supporting students at their point of need to meet and exceed grade level standards. That's what I support. And that's my priority. Because without reading skills, they're not going to survive with math, the other subject matters. So that's my number one priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Isabella, I think you had something else you wanted to add.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to add that relating to the board priority list, I think there's a general consensus among the student voice council members who are the different representatives at each of the high schools in the district, that the number one issue generally brought up to us as representatives at our school site is just mental health support. So I just want to place an emphasis on those positions like counselors specifically, therapists, social worker positions are just really what have most commonly brought up to us as the student voice council members. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I appreciate this process that we are taking these steps, because I think that if we jumped into a discussion at the end when we're near that deadline to make these key decisions without taking these very intentional steps, I think that it could get really messy. So I appreciate the process and the ability to work through this. I do want to emphasize a couple of points that Mr. Forcina brought up that really are in relation to what Ms. Campbell spoke about at our last meeting, really thinking about the ratios for positions and making sure that we are supporting those positions to ensure that we have the right number of people to do the job and that they have space to do their jobs. So that those were key things. And, this is a hard decision. VAPA is something that I want to support, but when I look at that list, I want to support everything that's on that list too. So I think that again, we have some tough decisions to make as a board, and I appreciate that we will get the data that Mr. Perez was asking for. We will have that data to be able to evaluate and make decisions about the impact that some of these the services that we're providing are making. So that is all I have. Yes.
So I just want to say thank you for the conversation. This isn't going to be easy. We got a lot of challenging work to do, a lot of good people doing really good work. Again, evaluating it, we're committed to doing that. But even that's challenging. I want to make sure I say that up front. And we're not doing A plus B equals C. We're doing really challenging work, and it doesn't always just show up in super easy to measure packets. So appreciate the conversation. I think we have done a great deal of good work, great people doing good work. The leadership of the board has helped us do that through the way. So I appreciate the conversation. It was good just to let people share where they are.
I have something to say. I only went through half this page, and there's another program that I wanted our school district pursue funding, and that was provide instructions and services consistent with the California Community School Partnership Act. We did not apply for that, and we've talked about dealing with the whole child, dealing with mental health issues, counseling, access to school meals. All that stuff is number C, integrated pupil support to address other barriers of learning. And mental health, like you said, is one of those issues that they mentioned in this report. And access to instructions for credit deficient pupils to complete graduation or grade promotion requirements and decrease and improve pupils, so students' college eligibility. That's another one. And the last I want to say is additional academic services for pupils, such as diagnostic, progress monitoring, and benchmarks assessments of students' learning.
Thank you.
We need to concentrate on this new phase of money.
Thank you. That's noted. Okay, I'm going to move on and ask for Mr. Riley to come on up for our public hearing and action items.
Testing. Thank you, Mr. Mate. Good evening, President Jamerson, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos. The Board of Education, pursuant to Government Code Section 3547, the following are stipulated for negotiations between a bargaining unit and the district. 1, the district's initial proposal is officially presented at a public meeting of the governing board for public notice, and 2, a public hearing is conducted to receive public input regarding the district's initial proposal. EGUSD's initial proposal to the Elk Grove Educator Association is attached, and the board is asked to open a public hearing and receive comments on EGUSD's initial proposal to EGEA for the 2024-2025 collective bargaining, close the public hearing after listening to the comments, and after closing the public hearing, take action to accept EGUSD's initial proposal.
Thank you. Isabella, do we have any blue cards for this item?
There are no blue cards for this item.
Okay, I would then like to open the public hearing. I I would like to open the public hearing, and there are no blue cards. Therefore, I would then like to close the public hearing and call for a motion to accept EGUSD's initial proposal to EGEA regarding collective bargaining for the 2024-25 school year.
So moved, Madam Chair.
It's been moved by Ms. Chávez Espinosa, seconded by Mr. Perez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, for NUHW, also pursuant to Government Code Section 3547, the following are stipulated for negotiations between a bargaining unit and the district. One, the district's initial proposal is officially presented at a public meeting of the governing board for public notice. And two, a public hearing is conducted to receive public input regarding the district's initial proposal. EGUSD's initial proposal to the National Union Health Workers is attached. As such, the board is asked to, one, open a public hearing to receive comments on EGUSD's initial proposal to NUHW for the 2024-2025 collective bargaining, and two, close the public hearing after listening to the comments, and finally, after closing the public hearing, take action to accept EGUSD's initial proposal.
Thank you. I would now like to open the public hearing. Do we have any blue cards for this item?
No, there are no blue cards for this item.
I would then like to close the public hearing and call for a motion to accept EGUSD's initial proposal to NUHW regarding collective bargaining for the 2024-25 school year. It's been moved by Ms. Albiani and seconded by Mr. Perez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now moving on to amendment agreements for the non-represented employees.
Thank you. California Government Code Section 54953C3 requires that a verbal summary of the proposed compensation and fringe benefits be given to the public prior to final board action on certain employment agreements. The employment agreements and amendment agreements for the 2024-2025 school year for 1, Chief Financial Officer, 2, Chief Technology Officer, 3, Assistant Superintendent for Schools Elementary, 4, Assistant Superintendent for Schools Secondary, 5, Executive Director of School Supports, Curriculum and Professional Learning, 6, Executive Director of School Support, Communications, Educational Equity, and Family and Community Engagement, and 7, Chief Human Resources Officer, require board action in open session to extend the term of their employment agreements and for movement on their respective salary schedules unless they are on the top step of their salary schedule or on a 2-year step. Whereas all eligible representative employees in the district automatically receive step and column advances effective July 1. Upon the receipt of a positive evaluation, salary schedule step advances, increases, and contract term extensions for an unrepresentative contract employees must be approved by the board in open session at a regular school board meeting. Each of the proposed amendment agreements contain the following material terms. For the 2024-2025 school year, the term of the proposed amended employment agreements for the Chief Financial Officer, 2, Chief Technology Officer, 3, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Elementary, 4, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Secondary, 5, Executive Director of School Support, Curriculum and Professional Learning, 6, Executive Director of School Support, Communications, Educational Equity, and Family and Community Engagement, and 7, Chief Human Resources Officer shall expire on June 30th, 2027, unless terminated on an earlier date by the parties or extended by the parties. B, compensation. Non-representative cabinet members' salaries shall align with the step increments and salary schedule structure included in the applicable cabinet members' addendum agreements and the salary schedules attached to their addendum agreements. As a result, the following constitutes each cabinet member's pay on the following effective dates. 1, 2023-2024 school year. Effective retroactive to January 1, 2024 for the 2023-2024 school year, following cabinet members shall receive the following base salary consistent with their applicable 2023-2024 salary schedule and step placement. A, Chief Financial Officer's base salary at Step 6 shall be $202,176. B, Chief Technology Officer's base salary at Step 9 shall be $214,468. C, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Elementary, base salary at step 9 shall be $217,267. D, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Secondary, base salary at step 8 shall be $208,910. E, Executive Director of School Supports, Curriculum, and Professional Learning, base salary at step 9 shall be $191,228. F, Executive Director of School Supports, Communications, Educational Equity, and Family and Community Engagement, base salary at step 6 shall be $180,252. G, Chief Human Resources Officer's base salary at step 9 shall be $191,228. 2, for the 2024-2025 school year, step movement effective on July 1, 2024, the following cabinet members shall receive the following base salary consistent with their applicable 2024 to 2025 salary schedule and step placement. Effective July 1, 2024, for the 2024-2025 school year, the following cabinet members shall have the following 2024-2025 step placement as follows. A, Chief Financial Officer shall move to step 7, and her base salary at step 7 shall continue to be $202,176. B, Chief Technology Officer shall continue on step 9, and his base salary at step 9 shall continue to be $214,468. C, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Elementary shall continue on step 9, and her base salary at step 9 shall continue to be $217,267. D, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Secondary shall move to step 9, and his base salary at step 9 shall be $217,267. E, Executive Director of School Support, Curriculum, and Professional Learning shall move to step 11, and her base salary at step 11 shall be $195,052. F, Executive Director of School Support, Communications, Educational Equity, and Family and Community Engagement shall move to step 7, and her base salary at step 7 shall continue to be $180,252. G, Chief Human Resources Officer shall move to step 11, and his base salary at step 1 shall be $195,052. C, Health and Welfare Benefits. 1, the Chief Financial Officer. 2, Chief Technology Officer. 3, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Elementary. 4, Assistant Superintendent of Schools Secondary. 5, Executive Director of School Support, Curriculum, and Professional Learning. 6, Executive Director of School Support, Communications, Educational Equity, and Family and Community Engagement. And 7, Chief Human Resources Officer will receive the same health and welfare benefits and retiree benefits as other district certificated employees, as those benefits may change from time to time consistent with their employment agreements. D, Addendum Agreements. This concludes the summary of the following cabinet addendum agreements: Assistant Superintendent of Schools Elementary, 6th Amendment Agreement; Assistant Superintendent of Schools Secondary, 2nd Amendment Agreement; Chief Human Resources Officer, 4th Amendment Agreement; Chief Technology Officer, 6th Amendment Agreement; Chief Financial Officer, 2nd Amendment Agreement; Executive Director of School Support, Curriculum, and Professional Learning, 2nd Amendment Agreement; Executive Director of School Support, Communications, Educational Equity, and Family and Community Engagement, 2nd Amendment Agreement. Copies of the amendment agreements will be available upon request, and we have copies over here. So the recommended motion: summarize, discuss, and approve the amendments to certain non-representative employment agreements for our cabinet.
Thank you. Isabella, do we have any blue cards on this item?
There are no blue cards for this item.
I would then like to call for a motion to approve the
Again, you forgot to include an organization chart for me when you do these type of amendments or changes. So, and also, what's the fiscal impact report? Why wasn't that included in this particular report? The fiscal.
That's not part of this report.
Why is
the fiscal impact is the salaries that are being paid.
I mean, it's going. it's going to impact our budget and the salary. So I was wondering the total dollar amount. That's all.
We can get you an organizational chart.
Right.
Send you one. And two, in terms of the fiscal impact, these changes, in addition to the normal step and column increases, are also part of our comparability study work. The adjustments in all of these fell within our parameters that were set by the board.
And also, it would have been nice again with a package that you would have concluded the actual, that would only have been maybe 6 or 7, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 agreements?
Because those are
6
the
documents?
those are the only ones that were
Yes.
affected by the comparability
Yes.
study.
Okay, so anyway, if we did request, that'd be 6 actual copies of amendment agreements, correct?
Yes, we
Yes,
have
of
them
all
here.
those right there. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So
roll call, please.
After public comment, call for a motion to approve the 2024-25 amendment agreements for the following non-represented employees. 1, Chief Financial Officer. 2, Chief Technology Officer. 3, Assistant Superintendent for Schools Elementary. 4, Assistant Superintendent for Schools Secondary. 5, Executive Director of School Support, Curriculum and Professional Learning. 6, Executive Director of School Support Communications, Educational Equity, and Family and Community Engagement. And 7, Chief Human Resources Officer. Give me a second.
I'll second. Oh.
It's been moved by Ms. Albiani, seconded by Mr. Perez. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? You were opposed? Okay, okay. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, do we have any board members or a superintendent report from reports on organization and committee meetings relative to the district and its operation? Okay, I would then like to adjourn this meeting at 7:52 p.m. Thank you.